What if every decision you make, your habits, relationships, even your self-sabotage is driven by just 6 hidden needs? Tony Robbins says these invisible forces control your life, but once you master them, you can rewrite your destiny. Want to know which need is secretly running your choices? Let's expose the truth. Serotonin lies comfort and security. Imagine this, you check your phone first thing in the morning. You take the same route to work. You order the same coffee. Why? Because your brain is addicted to certainty. It craves comfort and security like oxygen. But here's the scary part. This need is secretly limiting your life. Let's expose how it works. Chapter 1, Jen, what is certainty? Well, the survival need, Tony Robbins says certainty is the one human need. It's why we stick with jobs we hate, stay in boring routines. Avoid risks, even small ones. Your brain thinks, better safe than sorry. It's wired to avoid pain before seeking pleasure. Real life example, Sarah stays with her critical boyfriend for 5 years. She says, at least I know what to expect. Her brain prefers predictable misery over uncertain freedom. Chapter 20, how certainty tricks you, the comfort trap. Certainty isn't bad, but it becomes a cage when you over-rely on habits, scrolling instead of creating. You resist change even when miserable. You fear failure, so you never try. Tony's insight. Most people would rather be certain they're miserable than risk being happy. Exercise. Think of one area where you're stuck right now. Is certainty the hidden reason? So pause for reflection, make it personal, and chapter 30, the dark side. So when certainty backfires and too much certainty leads to stagnation, your life feels like Groundhog Day. Paradoxically, avoiding uncertainty makes you more fearful. Regrets ever heard? I wish I'd taken that chance. Shocking study, people in unhappy marriages often wait 6+ years to leave. Why? Chapter 4a, how to hack certainties. Healthy vis, unhealthy. You don't need to quit your job or jump out of planes. Instead, 1, create safe uncertainty, a small, controlled risk, CG. Try a new food before a new career. Progress ties to comfort. 2, reframe fear. Ask, what's the certainty I'm clinging to? Is it worth it? 3, build certainty anchors, morning routines, savings accounts, or trusted friends. Security isn't about avoiding storms. It's about building a strong boat. Tony's quote, change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of changing. Chapter 50, your certainty challenge. Step 1 should identify one area where you're overly comfortable. Career, relationship. Step 20, take a 5% risk this week. Example, if you fear public speaking, record a 1-minute video. Step 30, notice the payoff. Did the world end or did you gain confidence? An action time, comment below. What's your comfort trap? A job, a habit, a relationship. Let's expose it together. I'll reply with a tip to break free. A UNCRTN 2 variety adventure. Why do people cheat on perfect partners? Why do billionaires gamble millions? Why can't you stop checking your phone? There's a biological reason, and it's the same force that makes toddlers say again after a roller coaster. Meet your brain's addiction to uncertainty and why it's secretly running your life. Chapter 20, uncertainty to biological crack. Tony Robbins says this need is why we binge Netflix cliffhangers. Just one more episode? Scroll social media endlessly, chasing the next dopamine hit, start drama when life gets too boring. Science fact. Your brain releases 3x more dopamine when rewards are random to like slot machines versus predictable. Real life example, Mike refreshes dating apps 50x per day, not for love, but for the thrill of who'll match me next. Chapter 2, hey, the dark side. When adventure turns toxic to unhealthy uncertainty, looks like addictions, gambling, porn, impulsive shopping, sabotage, starting fights to feel alive, chaotic livings, always quitting jobs or relationships. Tony's insight, most people don't fear failure, they fear boredom. And they'll burn their lives down to feel something. Exercise, thinking, where do you crave excitement in ways that hurt you? A pause for reflection. Chapter 3, why we love trauma, the drama paradox. Shocking truth, your brain can't tell the difference between good and bad. Excitement. Breakup pain versus roller coaster thrills, same chemical rush. Office gossip feels like a Netflix plot to your brain. Case study. Maria subconsciously picks fights with her boyfriend. Why? At least it's not boring, her brain whispers. Chapter 4i, hacking uncertainty from chaos to growth. A healthy ways to feed this need. 1, safe danger, try a new hobby, improv, classical, street racing, travel to unfamiliar neighborhoods. 2, gamify boring tasks, turn workouts into mystery workouts, draw exercises from a height. 3, I schedule mini plan Saturdays where you spontaneously explore Tony's rule. If you don't create uncertainty, your brain will manufacture drama. Chapter 50. The 7-day uncertainty challenge. Day 1, to thoroughly notice when you crave noise. A scroll can stir in pots. Day 4, to Fevy, replace one chaos habit with a healthy thrill. Podcast instead of porn. Day 6 to 7. Try something new, no matter how small. Take a different route home. The thrill of being alive. Uncertainty isn't your enemy, it's your life force. The question isn't, how do I stop craving excitement? It's where can I channel this wild energy so it builds me up instead of burning me down? Significance is a feeling important. Why do people post selfies? Why do we buy luxury cars we can't afford? Why do toddlers scream, look at me? Because your brain has a biological need to feel important. And if you don't feed it the right way, it will force you to chase significance in the dumbest ways possible. Let's expose works of chapter 20, and Tony Robbins says this is the 3 human need. It's why weed. Even when it's cringy, flex on social media, that humble brag, life is stay in toxic relationships because being needed, feeling important, your brain hack, your brain confuses attention with worth. More life example, Dave wears a fake Rolex to reunions. He's 42 and lives with roommates, but for one night, he feels like a king. Chapter 2, THC, when significance goes toxic, unhealthy significance looks like victim mentality. No one suffers like I do. Narcissism's making every conversation about you, overworking, ignoring family to chase titles. Tony's brutal truth. You can either be liked or respected. Both makes you irrelevant. Exercise. When did you last do something just to look important? Be honest. A pause for reflection. Chapter 30 of my trial is Ardoin's The Ego Trap, a shocking truth. Your brain can't tell the difference between real respect and fake status. A job title feels like love. An Instagram follower count feels like power. Case study. Sarah spends $800 per month on designer bags she can't afford. Why? When I walk into a room, I want to look like I belong there. A spoiler, she still feels invisible. She shipped here 40. How to GFNCE, how to feel important without being insufferable. 1. Earn pride through empty status and master a skill, being actually good to looking good. Example. A real chef doesn't need to tell you he's a chef. 2. Give to feel seen, mentor someone as being needed toward being noticed. Seed volunteer, heroism beats hashtags. 3. The quiet king mindset. Would you still do this if no one praised you? Tony's quote. Significance is like salt, it enhances life. Too much ruins everything. Chapter 15. Ask the GNTS, the Deftox, day 1 to 3. I notice when you perform IX, rehearsing stories before parties, day 4 to 5. Do something meaningful in secret, help a stranger. Don't post it, day 6 to 7. Ask, who am I without my job, possessions or likes? Or action time, spark engagement, comment your confession. So I have bought things just to impress people. I've exaggerated stories to sound cooler. I hate when I'm not the center of attention. No judgment. I've done all 3. Let's get real. You don't need more attention. You need to believe you're enough without it. Because here's the secret. The people who are truly important never try to be. Levi or Pion, belonging to the most connected generation in history, yet 60% of people feel lonelier than ever. Why? Because your brain is hardwired for love and connection like a plant is wired for sunlight. And when you don't get it, you'll do desperate, dangerous, even stupid things to feel like you belong. Let's talk about why this happens. Chapter 1, Teachability of G. Tony Robbins says this is the 3 human need. It's why. Babies die without touch, even with food or shelter. Prisoners crave visitation more than early release. Social media likes trigger the same high as hug. Science fact. Loneliness spikes cortisol, stress hormone, as much as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Real life example, Maria stays friends with toxic people because it's better than eating alone. Her brain thinks, painful connection to peaceful loneliness. Well, chapter 20, T-Darcities, when connection turns toxic, unhealthy love or connection looks like people pleasing, saying yes when you mean no, clout, chasing, chaining yourself for followers, trauma bonding, and staying with abusers because they get me. Tony's hard truth or neediness repulse. The paradox, you have to be okay alone to truly connect. An exercise, when did you last tolerate bad behavior just to avoid being alone? A pause, let it sting. Chapter 13. Why followers friends is shocking stats. The average person has only 2 close friends, down from 3 in 1990. 61% of young adults feel left out, even with 1,000 online friends. A case study. Jake has 8,000 Instagram followers, but eats birthday cake alone. His brain thinks if I post this, it'll feel like a celebration. Chapter 4, Nichil to Khan and to Town. How to belong without losing yourself. 1. Alone, lonely training, sit in a cafe solo, no phone, journal prompt. What do I truly enjoy about my own company? 2. Reverse engineer belonging, join communities around interests, not insecurities or example. Take a cooking class instead of swiping for someone who cooks. 3. The 5-minute vulnerability hack, share 1 real thing daily. I'm nervous about what? Watch how deeper connections form. Tony's quote. The quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. So chapter 15, 7, DA Sanji, day 1 to 30, initiate contact first, to text that old friend. At day 4, have one no screen conversation, look them in the eyes. Day 6 to 7, attend a meetup even if you stand in the corner. Action time, spark vulnerability, comment your truth. I've stayed too long in a bad relationship. I scroll. When lonely, instead of calling someone, I sometimes feel lonely in a crowded room. You're not alone, literally. Let's fix this together. At Ironics TR2H, you're terrified of being alone, but so is everyone else. The moment you dare to say me too, that's when real connection begins. Because belonging isn't about being seen, it's about being known. Jared OT, expanding your capabilities. What if I told you that happiness isn't about money, fame, or even love? That the richest people often feel empty, and the successful secretly hate their lives? Tony Robbins says it's because they ignored the 5 human needs. Growth. And here's the scary part. If you're not growing, you're already dying. Let me explain. Chapter 1, YO or BRAN, Sirvas Gerardochu. Tony calls this the silent need, because unlike food or sex, you don't notice it until you're miserable. Boredom on your brain screaming for growth, midlife crisis to decades of stagnation, exploding depression, often just growth delayed. Science fact. Learning new skills rewires your brain like exercise builds muscle. Stop growing. Your mind starts rotting. Real life example, Mark retired at 45. By 50, he was divorced, alcoholic, and suicidal. Why? No challenges left. He said his brain needed growth like a plant needs water. Chapter 20, T Dark CI. When growth stops the symptoms, you're stagnating, numbing out, binge. Watching. Doom scrolling, obsessing over the past. High school was my peak. Jealousy of others' success, your subconscious screaming. Move. Tony slap. Most people would rather be comfortably miserable than uncomfortably growing. Exercise. Where in your life are you tolerating instead of thriving? Pause. Let them squirm. Chapter 3, Ying. Marjoras. Why we're stuck at shocking truths. Social media tricks you into feeling progress without doing anything good enough. Jobs are mental quicksand. Convenience culture is making your brain lazy. Case study. Lisa works at 50 hours a week but hasn't learned anything new in 3 years. She complains life feels gray. No kidding. Her brain's starving. A chapter 4 in Haha Gyaro Dauti, no BS's methods E1. The 1% rule of 1 new skill monthly Excel salsa CPR. Anything small growth compounds like interest. 2. Discomfort alarms. When you feel bored or resentful, ask, what skill would make this 10% easier? 3. Deathbed thinking. Will future me be proud I spent today this way? Tony's mantra. If you're not growing, you're just waiting to die. Chapter 5 thing. Practice Fire today 1 to 20. Audit your time. How many hours were growth neutral? Day 3 to 40, learn something useless, but funds juggling Morse coding. Day 5 to 70. Have one, I don't know. Conversation, ask an expert anything. Action time, spark movement. Comment your status. I've been stagnant in my growth area is I'm scared to try I'll reply with a micro challenge. THEUGLTR growth hurts. Stagnation hurts worse. One pain leaves you stronger. The other leaves you a ghost. Choose your pain. Kind writer giving beyond yourself. Why do billionaires like Warren Buffett donate 99% of their wealth? So why do the happiest people you know always seem to be helping others? Because contribution isn't just nice, it's a biological need. Tony Robbins says it's the 6th human need, and the one that separates those who feel empty from those who feel alive. Let's dive in. Chapter 1 T. Tichi Karabu Turvanju, it's in your DNA. Humans are wired to give. Helpers high. Giving releases more dopamine than receiving. Centenarian secret. The longest lived people prioritize community posts. Success depression. Why stars or CEOs often crash after making it. Real life example. After selling his company for millions, Raj cried in his Lamborghini. I thought money would fix everything. Only when he started mentoring kids did his depression lift. Chapter 2 Yin. THE matter Adita and crisis we've replaced real giving with. So performative activism, so posting to do another I'm rich, the never arriving future isolation. The 50% of meals are now eaten alone. Tony's truth bomb. You don't need to be rich to contribute. You need to be rich to avoid contributing. Play exercise. When did you last help someone anonymously? If you can't remember, that's the problem. Chapter 30. THE Maraf Contour and you don't need millions to make an impact. The 5-minute mentor answer one question on Reddit or Quora daily. The grocery game, buy one extra item for food banks. Each trip there's something, do something. Rule, notice a struggle. Act as hold doors. Science fact, volunteers live longer, heal faster, and report more joy than non-givers. Chapter 4, givers often get more because karma is real. People remember who helped them. Skills multiply. Teaching is the best learning. Networks expand. Generosity attracts opportunities. Case study. Maria volunteered at a coding nonprofit. 2 years later, a student's parents offered her a dream. I never saw it coming. Chapter 50, she 7 DAY, Kantir IBIOKL in day 1 to 2. Give one specific compliment daily, day 3 to 40. Items no, maybe later. Piles, day 5 to 60. Share knowledge freely. No, I should charge for this. Thoughts, day 70. Reflect. How did giving change my mood? Action time, spark a chain reaction. Comment below. I'll contribute my this week. Some of the life with some my small gif to the world is let's flood this section with good intention and TE star yo cut BA. Here's the secret they don't teach you. Contribution isn't about saving others. It's about saving yourself. Because when you give, you scream to the universe, I have enough. I am enough. And that's when life starts giving back.